Hello there. So, thought I'd say hi, and I thought I would record this message to everyone. This is kind of going out like vaguely live because I'm not going to edit it, I'm not going to cut it or anything like that. But hi there, my name's Marc. You may know me already. I mean, you probably know me already if you're on this channel at all, unless you're one of those random people that joins my channel from the internet, which I find very strange. But obviously, like, you're totally welcome. But anyway. This channel that I have here, this YouTube channel, is here for my university lecturing. So it's made for me to conduct my lectures online in a service that's like really easy to stream with and stuff like that. And it's made for my students to get access to my material. But for the next term at UNSW, which is roughly going to be the next 3 months or so, I'm not actually going to be lecturing at UNSW. So I just want to talk about what I'm doing with the channel when I'm not lecturing, which is I don't want to just turn it off entirely, because I know that if I just like stop talking to people and have no contact with students in any way, then I will probably like shrivel up into a heap and fade away because I won't be able to drain their essence. So yeah. While there's no lectures happening, I still want to do something. So I want to maintain some kind of regularity of streaming, talking to people, as well as like just maintaining contact with my students. So whether they've been my students in the past or they're going to be in the future, we're just going to like have some way of hanging out, right? So I'm introducing something that I call Marc on Mondays. And yes, I'm going to be streaming on Mondays, not because it's a convenient time of the week, not because I've planned it based on what other things people are doing or anything like that. It's literally because it's alliteration with my name. So Marc on Mondays. It's having on Mondays because my name starts with an M. So, vague plan. It's not set in stone yet, I'll let people know as things happen, but I'm thinking comfortable time after dinner to hang out would be like 8 to 10 p.m. Sydney time Mondays. And so I'm going to do this like 8 to 10 p.m. Mondays where I'll go live, roughly 2 hours, but you know me. If anyone knows me, they know that if I schedule something for 2 hours, we'll be done at about 2 a.m. each night. So we'll just see how it goes. Maybe I should have just said starts at 8 p.m. and that's it. And it goes on for however long I'm interested in continuing streaming, or people are interested in seeing what I'm streaming. So question now obviously is, what is Marc going to put on this stream? So there's a couple of things that I want to do, just kind of updates of what's been going on. That's really vague, but anything that might be happening in the School of Computer Science and Engineering at UNSW, which is what this is based on, really. So like if anyone wants to spruik events and stuff like that I normally would have spruiked in my lectures, I'm happy to do that in these streams. So student societies, you know who you are, hit me up. I'm always there to promote what you are doing, because I think it's really handy what you're doing. And then one of the reasons why I'm not lecturing in second term is in third term I'll be teaching a subject called Comp 3421, which is computer graphics. And so I have I've bounced a lot of thoughts around in my head about how this course is going to work, but I haven't written any of it down. Well, I have actually. I've got some Google Docs with some stuff in it, but it's not that detailed yet. So I thought what might be interesting is for people to get to see what it's like to develop a subject from scratch. So I'm going to talk about what do I want people to know, and how do I want them to feel about this stuff, and then how do I actually build it so that people will think what I want them to think about these things. So, how am I going to put the content together? How am I going to put sufficient challenges in front of people? And how am I going to present in... It's going to be like similar format to you may know from other UNSW things. If I do 4 hours a week for 9 weeks, then I've got, 36 hours worth of content spread out over a 10-week period. How do I do that so that people are going to get what they need out of this subject and get a good introduction to things, and at a pace that's going to work? And everyone kind of knows this. When someone, like, this isn't just a build from scratch, it's a rebuild as well. So I'll show you what I'm using from old content and things like that. But either way, I think it'll be interesting to see to see how a lecturer puts a subject together. And this is obviously not going to be the same as other lecturers. Everyone's going to do things their own way. But I thought, like, students might be really, really interested in seeing what goes on in the back end. Because it's kind of like, you know, you do your assignments and stuff, and you do, like, the full amount of work and things. And then by the end of it, you've got this amazing thing, and you're, like, pretty happy with it. Or you've got this mediocre thing, and you're like, oh, fuck it, it'll do. You know? Oh yeah, I'm allowed to swear now because I'm not officially. Actually, I've been swearing through lectures the whole time I've been at UNSW. Anyway, yeah, you get to see, and then you'll get to see me do the same thing. Where some of it's going to be like, oh, this is the best thing I could ever do, and some of it's just like, oh, it'll be good enough. You know, and then you'll see that, and then maybe if you do take the course later, you'll be able to see whether I was actually successful or not. And then some parts of the course will be like, this worked, and other parts of the course will be like, oh, I can see why that didn't work. He knew that was going to be a risk, but you have to take these risks, right? Or else you don't see how well they work. So that's one thing I'm going to do. I'm going to talk about that. Another thing that I'm thinking of. And don't hold me to this yet because it hasn't been built yet, and I need to convince some people at one or two of the student societies to throw in on this, because none of us are going to get paid to do this. But I want to do some kind of ad hoc. Well, it's not ad hoc. It's going to be very well organized because I'm organizing it. But it's an unofficial programming competition. So one of the funniest things that happened when I started lecturing Comp 1511 was we had an assignment called Coco, and a lot of people are probably going to remember this, but it was an assignment where we had students make a card game player, and then we got the card game players to all play against each other, and then basically we gave people marks based on how they ranked versus other players. And I realized at that point, I was like, oh, I'm not sure if this is the way we should be doing this, because we're ranking people on their strategic capability, and we didn't teach them that. And we weren't ranking them on the cleanliness of their code or how well their code was written. We were ranking them purely on whether they could, like, you know, make the right decisions. And I knew this was a problem when I wrote something with no test cases while I was on a plane to the US for a conference. Remember international travel? It was a wonderful thing. But yeah, I spent like 45 minutes on it, and it was basically 6 if statements. And it went straight to the top of the rankings when I released it, and it was like, oh, so prior knowledge in game theory and game playing artificial intelligence is what scores points in this, not the ability to do interesting code structures and stuff. So that's why Coco never came back. And so I thought having students beat each other up for marks is not a good thing. But having students beat each other up digitally, not physically. I mean, like, that's another thing. Like, there's plenty of sports associations got really cool ways you can beat each other up physically under controlled conditions. I'm not part of any of those at the moment. But if I want my students to beat each other up digitally for marks, that's unethical. If I want my students to beat each other up digitally for my entertainment, then that suddenly is totally fine, and I'm going to do that for shits and giggles. So if we do this kind of thing, this kind of programming competition, I don't want to just make it students beating each other up. So if I do it, I want to do it in a kind of format where we have like a season where we could do this over like 6 months, and every season of the 6 months is like 1 month. And at the end of each month, this is the format that I want to do. At the end of each month, after all the games have been played and we have some kind of rankings and stuff like that, we take the top few. So, I don't know, we've got 100 people playing. I'll take like the top 3. And what we do is we make their code open source. So at the start of the next season, everyone has the capability of the top 3, and then you start again from there and you can continue. Which means that people can jump in at any season and just go, okay, where's the starting point? And it doesn't have to be from 0. It's like, oh, from this person's code, we then go on from here. And the cool thing about that is, like, what we'll do is we'll take these top performing things and we'll do a code review on them. So I will review them on the stream and say, okay, this is why this thing is good. This is why this is interesting. And for some of you, this could be very embarrassing, but it doesn't matter because you won already, so you deserve to be embarrassed a little. So if you've won already, and then I look at your code and I say, this is why this is bad code, you have done very well in a performance test, but is this code actually going to be useful to other people and stuff like that? So we'll go through this kind of code review, and I'll teach people what kind of strategies worked in the winning programs and stuff like that, and then we roll into the next month. And so I could have some things where I go, oh, I could see how you could continue this, and then each month obviously it's not going to be the same competition. Each month you take the code from the previous competition, I add some rules to the game, and then we develop new programs over the next month. So I think this is a fun format to do, because every month it levels the playing field. Everyone gets the same code to start with. And it provides people with like a little bit of extra challenge, because every time it iterates, something more gets added to the rules. It gets more complex. You have to think about more things when you code things. The downsides of something like this, I'm wondering, I haven't figured this out yet, is like, are people actually going to want to do this? And if people are going to want to do this, are they going to be okay doing this when they have real assignments they're supposed to be doing? Like, other things give you marks. This thing is just to, like, be fun for Marc's sadism, to look at what you're doing and and watch you fight each other in my gladiatorial arena. So we'll see if this is going to work. Also, this also depends quite heavily on one or two students who I'm talking to already about building the infrastructure at the back end to make this stuff work. CSC's already got a bit of competition running infrastructure, so it's really about stealing from previous people. Looking at you, Curtis. Curtis is at Data 61, sometimes lectures. I can't remember which courses you're lecturing, Curtis, but he's got an infrastructure that works for competition stuff, and so we may be borrowing quite heavily from that. But either way, as happens when a lecturer like myself comes up with a fancy idea like this, someone else has to do the slog. So I will need someone else to do that slog, and so I'll have to make sure that I've got someone to do that before I can say that this will happen. Because I'm someone that waves my hands around a lot and talks, and hopes that someone else can actually carry the real work behind what's going on. So that's an idea that I want to do, and hopefully it'll happen. But like, we'll see. It's a good hope. It's not just a pie in the sky idea. This is something that is likely to happen, but bear with us. I'm not going to say it's 100% going to happen until we actually get towards it happening. Another thing that we might do, which is just very much for fun, is I've noticed the students are quite interested in what games I'm playing. One of my biggest mistakes was connecting my actual account to the students' Discord, so people can actually see when I'm playing games in my downtime, and people have been discussing what games I play and then what hours of the night I actually stop playing. Things have gotten pretty bad lately. Anyway, so what I thought might be fun was streaming some games that I'm playing, and I especially want to, still keep this reasonably connected to what I do in the School of Computer Science and Engineering at UNSW, right? So it's still kind of linked. So what I thought might be fun is we go through a lot of the games in, say, the Steam library or something like that have programming aspects in them. The first one is like, I've been spruiking Human Resource Machine for like 3 years of lecturing now. So I'm going to play through that. And that might actually be next Monday. I might actually do that from the beginning next Monday, where I go, okay, I'm going to play through Human Resource Machine, and I'm going to talk about what I do, and I'm also going to show off the fact that I'm not actually like some kind of god of coding or anything. I've never have been. I happen to be a lecturer, and I teach you based on years of experience of doing things, but it doesn't mean I was actually like great at it. I just have lots of experience with it. So I think it'll be really funny, because you'll just see me not being able to solve some problems, and like I'm going to get like first year students watching me and just going, what do you mean? Why? He's not actually that good a programmer? And it's like, I think that's great. I think it's like, we're, again, leveling the playing field, and I think that's a lot of fun doing that. And on other things, I might just play other games. So I might just try to pick out some games that I am actually good at, and then just be like, look, I can play this. But we'll see, Another idea that I had, and I don't know how deep we'll go into this one, we may only do it once or twice or something like that, is actually do an interview series. So I actually wanted to do this as an entirely different thing in the channel. But as I'm not a professional YouTuber, I don't really have time to organize these things. We'll see how much this actually happens. But I have a lot of friends who do really interesting stuff out there in the world. I mean, like, you live long enough in this world, and you do enough interesting things, you meet interesting people. And so I'll see how many of them I can convince to come on the channel and talk about things. So interviews probably going to be pretty personal in terms of like how did we meet? What kind of things did we used to do for fun together and stuff like that? So I've got friends that work in some of the tech companies that students are looking to get internships in and stuff like that. So I could have some kind of unofficial interviews with them. I haven't really decided. This one, like, yeah, very much conceptually. Like, okay, the programming competition at least has me thinking about how it's going to work. This other one does not at all. It's just, that's it. That's all I've thought about that idea. But it might happen. And also, it's like, if you're interested in me doing stuff, if you're one of my students or just someone who's watching this channel is interested, just let me know if there's things that you want to do. Because I think that's kind of it. That's all the ideas I have so far. But what I want to do is just maintain a continuous streaming, talking, in contact, that kind of thing. Because I think that if I spend an entire term not presenting material to anyone, not talking about anything and stuff, I think I'm gonna get real bored. So really, as I've said, I'm gonna put you up against each other for my entertainment. I'm gonna talk at you because I get bored if I'm not talking, and I'm just using you for feedback on things and stuff like that. So basically, what I'm gonna do is a weekly stream, which is entirely for my benefit. So yeah, that's it. If you have any ideas, things that you think that you want to see me do or anything like that, let me know. Because there's other completely random stuff, like I could show you painting miniatures and stuff like that. But I mean, I don't know if that really links up with what's in this channel at all, but we'll see. You know, you have fun, you want to see it, then I will do it. Well, there are limitations, obviously. Anyway, just wanted to let everyone know what's happening. I will schedule the first stream for next Monday, I assume. I know a lot of the people who are on this channel are my current Comp 1511 students, so to all of you I say good luck in the exam, which is on Saturday. And then the first stream will be after that, so hopefully you'll be like really chill after that, and you'll be like, oh, okay, we can just hang out with Mark now that he has punished us heavily in the final exam. Now that he's caused us a great deal of pain and struggle, we can hang out with him, and he can pretend to be our friend even though he hurt us deeply. So we'll see how it goes, yeah. Alright, I'm gonna sign it off here. Thank you for watching, and I will be posting stuff on the channel. I don't know why I'm pointing. I'm just pointing at my other monitor at the moment. Anyway, I will post stuff on the channel when it happens, and instead of things being as usual, like unlisted and linked to a specific subject webpage, this stuff's going to be open and public. So prepare for, I don't know what the spam is going to be like. I did used to do the lectures public, and I got some really weird spammers turning up in chat, so we'll see what happens, and if that happens, I'll deal with that. But otherwise, this is going to be open to everyone. So, thanks very much, and I will see you soon.